Good Friday, everyone. Rick Ucchino here once again on the Sportskeeda YouTube channel, and I have the pleasure of being joined today by a former Universal Champion, Intercontinental Champion, Money in the Bank winner, and professional ambulance flipper, Braun Strowman, on the phone with me now. How are you doing today, sir?
Excellent. How about yourself?
I am hanging in there, trying to do the best with what I've been given today. Can't ask for anything more than that.
Well, hey, man, you woke up on the right side of the dirt. You can't ask for much more than that. It's all downhill from there, or uphill, or whatever that saying is. It means good.
Absolutely. All right, well, let's get into it. I want to maximize our time here. You've got a big 4 days ahead of you. You got two big matches on the season premieres of Raw and SmackDown, starting with Friday night. As you get your shot at regaining the Universal Championship when you take on Roman Reigns. First, I kind of want to get your thoughts here on the Tribal Chief. How are you and the rest of the boys in the back feeling about this new attitude of one Roman Reigns?
Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little shocked by it and pretty appalled. You know, I've always had a lot of respect for Roman, even when we were trying to kill each other. You know, he helped me out a lot early in my career, and he went away and stuff at the beginning of this pandemic, and I applauded him for being selfish and taking care of himself and his family first and foremost. You know, with everything that he's been through and gone through, like I said, we had a long conversation about. At the end of the day, I wasn't supposed to be in the position that I was in going into WrestleMania, but like time and time before and time again, after, when WWE calls my number, I take the ball and I put my head and I run as hard as I can. I have and I continue will do that to this company. Saying that, and that being said, I don't know where this attitude and smug chip on his shoulder that he's gotten since he's come back. I don't know if it's because he's got this parasite Paul Heyman in his ear, filling his head up full of all this crap and stuff like this, but this, at the end of the day, I feel like he's carrying the universal entitlement. Just this attitude, this whole new attitude, I'm not really a fan of it, and I don't think too many of the guys are in the locker room, so I'm really looking forward to humbling Roman, especially, after I had posted something on social media a while back after I won either the IC title or the Universal Championship, and it was a picture that a fan made with, all the titles draped all over myself, and I put a hashtag inevitable. Roman Reigns had the nerve to comment on it and say, humble yourself. So now I'm ready to dish out a big old pile of humility to Roman.
I was going to say, he was doing the media rounds this week as well. He told ESPN that he doesn't think you deserve another shot at the Universal Championship, says he's going to, quote, whoop your ass anyway. Strong words there. What's the Monster's response?
Well, one, I'm surprised he even get any talking for himself now that he's got Paul puppeting him around. But two, that whoopings have been reciprocal. Roman Reigns has been my greatest adversary since I started with this, and he's been on the receiving end of these hands more than I'm sure he wants to. And guess what? We've both pinned each other. And with Roman saying that I don't deserve this title opportunity, I agree with him. That's the difference between Roman Reigns and I. I don't deserve anything. Roman's walking around with this chip on his shoulder, this entitlement that he deserves all this stuff that he's been given. I deserve this. I deserve that. This is my island. I'm the tribal chief. Blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, he's right. I don't deserve a damn thing. But I'd be a liar if I didn't say that I haven't earned this opportunity. Like I've earned every opportunity I've gotten with this company. Like I've earned everything I've ever accomplished in my life. And I'm fine with that. I like being the underdog. I've always been the underdog. And that's really hard, I'm sure, for a lot of people to believe in my size, my strength, and my ability. But if any of you guys have watched my WWE Chronicles on the WWE Network, you get an ounce and a glimpse of what I've been through, what it's taken for me to get to this point in my life. That's the difference between Roman Reigns and I. That's why when we feuded the first time, the fans got behind me, because they can relate to me. I wasn't spoon-fed into this business. I didn't flop in football and have the WWE safety net to fall into to catch me. I walked away from Strowman at the top of the mountain I was the strongest guy in North America. I won the Arnold Amateur World Championship. I walked away from a sport where I was the best, and I chose to come to WWE. I didn't have it as a safety net to fall into. I didn't have a family legacy to carry on in this business. I came into this business the hard way. I worked my ass off to get to where I am and make a name for myself. And I'll be damned if I'm going to have this punk try and tarnish what I've done, talking all this crap. So I'm ready to walk into SmackDown and slap them pretty new chiclets out of his head and remind him who the monster among men is.
Braun Strowman, my guest at this time. So, all right, so after you beat Roman Reigns on Friday and take the Universal title over to Raw, you're going to go one-on-one with the Limitless One, Keith Lee. We got a little bit of a taste of this matchup already. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you two can do together. What are your impressions of Keith Lee and thoughts about getting to work with him?
You know, so far, I have mixed feelings about everyone when they get called up to the main roster. I might not have been been in this business for forever. In the grand scheme of things, I've been in it in a blink of an eye. But I've also worked at the highest level of this business the entire time I've been in this company. I've main evented more shows than anybody but Roman Reigns. Him and I have main event everything. I've done it all. I've been in the ring with everyone. The only thing left I have to do is main event WrestleMania. And that's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. And, you know, Keith Lee, like I said, I got to feel these guys out. And Keith, for one, earned my respect a while back. Like I said, for the little bit of time that I've been in this business, I'm still old school because I learned from the greats before me. I learned from all these great big men, Big Show, Mark Henry, Kane, Taker. Those guys took me under my wing, and it was tough love the way that I learned. You know, so I'm old school. You're going to earn my respect. I'm not just going to give it to you. You're not going to walk in the locker room. We're not going to be cool. You got to prove to me that you belong here. And, you know, honestly, Keith's been one of the very few guys that have stepped up and showed that they want to be here, that they deserve to be here, not this complacent, oh, I made it. Keith Lee's hungry. I came back after killing myself with Bray Wyatt in the main event of SummerSlam. Keith Lee was the only guy left in the locker room wearing a three-piece suit, picking up trash, to wait to thank us for going out there, putting our bodies on the line, and paying the bills. At the end of the day, we're the main event. We're why the lights are on in that building. And that was nice to have that respect and to have that young, not even young, he's been in the business for a long time, but I'm a firm believer when you come to the main roster, you start over. And for him to do that, he earned a lot of my respect. And then this past, not this past Monday, but the Monday before that, you know, he earned a little bit more of my respect. Even though it was a dumb way to earn it, I give Keith credit. There's not many men that are willing to sack up and walk out there and get face-to-face with me when I'm in a mood like that looking to fight. And I'll give it to him. Keith brought it. And you saw how quick we ended up destroying the Thunderdome. You know, but here it is. At the end of the day, Keith got his opportunity Monday, and I know he's trying to make a name for himself. And I can't blame him because when I came into this business, I was hungry. And I'm still hungry. But I've got a name for myself. Keith's trying to make a name for himself, and I'll tell you right now, he picked the wrong person to try and do it with.
I am really looking forward to this matchup on Monday, and a lot more matchups for you on Mondays moving forward. You were officially drafted to Raw this week. What's the most exciting thing for you about moving over to the Red Brand now?
You know, it's going home, per se. The Red Brand is where it all started. When I got drafted away from the Wyatt family, I went to Raw. And as much as an amazing time that I had, you know, destroying poor souls with Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan, you guys got to see what I'm you haven't even seen what I'm fully capable of. You guys have been able to get a taste of what I can do, what the capabilities that I have as not only a performer, but as a man. And, you know, I'm going back home to the place that I made a name for myself. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to remind everybody on that Raw brand that I am the alpha of WWE. I am the top of the food chain. And Drew McIntyre, enjoy holding on to that World Heavyweight Championship because, brother, you know I'm coming for it. You know I want it. You know we got bad beef. I've eaten more Claymore kicks than I would damn sure care to admit to. So I got something coming for you too, brother. I just got to get past this punk Roman Reigns and humble this new kid, Keith Lee, real quick.
Braun Strowman calling next after Drew McIntyre's done with Randy Orton at Hell in a Cell. Now, you weren't the only one who moved over to Monday Night Raw. Both the Fiend and Alexa Bliss, now apparently officially an item. They made a major statement on their first night of Raw. Is your story with Alexa and Bray finished, or is there still some story to be told there?
I'll never be finished with Bray Wyatt. Same with I'll never be finished with Roman Reigns. You know, Roman has been my biggest adversary to date and probably always will be. But Bray Wyatt is the father of the monster. And, you know, it's hard to be around him. I try to be a good person. I try to do good things. But unfortunately, I'm also really good at doing bad things to people. And Bray Wyatt he's a haunting element. I have nightmares about him. I fear being drugged back into that swamp and turning back into what I used to be. You know, I'd be a liar if I didn't tell you I was watching that entire segment with Bray and Alexa because of the hitch rab with Alexa. And, you know, it's mortifying seeing her change because she's such a sweet person. Or the Alexa I knew was such a sweet person. And to see her changing like this and those guys hitting the double Abbey in the ring made every hair on my body stand up. It gave me this eerie feeling in my stomach like I'm watching Satan come to life.
Do you think you will experience anything that even comes close to the swamp fight again in your career?
Honestly, I hope I don't. I hope I don't. I left a part of me in that match. Part of my soul was consumed in that match. It was not just physical, but the mental aspect of it. The mental aspect of it of what it took to make all that happen. It's just I don't ever want to have to do it again. Bray Wyatt is very special to me. He will always be very special to me. But the Fiend is a completely different entity. I don't even know how to describe it. The words Alexa used is intoxicating when he's in the room. There's something about the aura of the Fiend that it's like a moth drawn to a flame. Like there's something that calls me to it, and it terrifies me. It terrifies me of what could happen if I go home. If the monster among men turns back into what he is and becomes partners with the Fiend. That's what scares me.
All right, final question for you, sir. A majority of your time as Universal Champion was spent feuding with Bray Wyatt. Having some time now to reflect on your first run as champion, you know, what was that experience like for you? And is there anything you'd like to go back and change or do over?
You know, it was, let me figure the right way to phrase this. It was an opportunity, for one. It was an opportunity that I initially wasn't going to have, you know, due to circumstances, like other circumstances have happened with the company and things like that. And, you know, they call my number. When the company gives me an opportunity, I make the most out of it. And that's what I did that night, going out there and beating Goldberg for the Universal Championship. A guy that I idolize still to this day, like as a teenager, watched on TV and mimicked his moves in the swimming pools and stuff like that, even though they tell us not to do it at home. You know, having the opportunity to share the squared circle with a WWE legend, Hall of Famer, icon, Bill Goldberg, in itself was just amazing. But then raising that Universal Championship over my head and proving to the world that told me I would never hold that title, that I didn't deserve to be in that position, that I don't even deserve to be in the business, you know. It's such a good feeling, humbling the people that doubt you and shutting them up. You got all these idiots on the internet that want to talk their opinions and this and that, and bring you down. Well, guess what? I made them all eat their shoes. And at the end of the day, I'm honored. I think my reign as Universal Champion, for what it was in such short notice, I think I stepped up and I hit a damn home run. In the middle of the pandemic, I wasn't supposed to be in that position. The company strapped itself to my back, and I carried the company through all this. You know, I put my health, my well-being on the line to come to work to entertain our fans, because at the end of the day, I know there's millions of people around the world that are all struggling through this whole time. They're all looking for an escape, for a way to forget about what is going on in their real life, what is going on in the world.
Yeah.
And if I had the opportunity for 30 seconds to take their mind off what was going on in the world, then I did my job. And I'll stick to my guns. I'm honored, and I think I did a damn good job as Universal Champion through this whole thing, because I think I gave a lot of people hope. A lot of people that have doubted themselves in life, that thought they weren't good enough, that thought they were never going to amount to nothing. You know what? I've been there. I've felt like that. I've had people tell me that. And I refuse to give up on myself, because if you don't give up on yourself, the world won't give up on you, and I prove that.
Great stuff, man. Braun, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.